JENNCASCELL here. I am back with another design team project share and tutorial for Scrap Diva design. So before we get started, here is the website and all of the info on the back. Make sure to use that hashtag Scrap Diva Designs for some amazing inspiration. And as always, if I've inspired you in any way, please feel free to use coupon code JEN10 to save at the shop. I super appreciate everyone who uses my coupon code and affiliate link. I do get a small kickback and it helps me continue to create free content for you guys. We are going to be focusing on the 3D bakery box that came out for the January release over at the shop. This die is meant to only be used with the extra large die cutting machines. So for instance, I have a Sizzix switch with the extra large platform. I can cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on that without cutting it down. That would work perfectly for this die set. The Big Shot Extra would work really well. I believe the Empress is also from Spellbinders. I believe that's an extra large plate, but don't quote me on that. So you're looking for an extra large plate because this box is a big one. So it measures just shy of 8 inches across, about 6 inches wide, and 2.25, I would say, inches tall. Now, I made my box into a shaker. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But here's the cool thing about the interior. I've created dividers for the interior of my box. This is completely optional, but it is easy to do with the dies that already come in the die set. So for this make, I have used Echo Park's Love Letters collection. This is a digital set. Absolutely love it. I use Koala cardstock. This is their 48-pound matte cardstock to print it out on. And I did a really fun shaker for the interior, and I used this really cool glitter polka dot acetate that I've had in my stash for a really long time. So if you are interested in a tutorial, stay tuned. All right, so the 3D bakery box is actually quite easy to put together, but I am going to show you the basic way to put it together, and then I'm also going to show you a little bit of flair, because you can make dividers using the exact same dies that you're using for the box, which I thought was kind of fun. So let me start off with, there is a size difference between the top and the bottom of the box. So just be aware of that while you're cutting. I'm going to focus on the top of the box first. I have cut out these two, and for your dies, it's going to be these two right here. This is also an add-on for the box. You don't have to use it. We will be using it today. I will show you how. But I've decided to keep these two dies on the same set. That way that I know it's the top of the box. So I have two of those, and I have glued the components together. You're also going to need two of these right here. Once again, there is a size difference between the two. It's very little, but I will show you. I'll actually show you on this one right here because it doesn't have the tabs on it. So I have two of the shorter ones that have the tabs on the side, and then I have two of these longer ones right here, and I am using this striped paper as the outside of my box. This right here is going to be the exterior top of my box. This is what you're going to see when you open the box, all right? So before we get started, I'm going to show you how to use this piece right here, and this is going to create a fun opening for the box. And all I am going to do is line it up as best I can, kind of center it on there. And then I'm going to use just a little bit of tape. I love the mint tape because sometimes tape can pull if you press it really hard down when you're using digital paper like I am. This is the Love Notes collection digital from Echo Park, and I've printed on koala cardstock, so it's a really, really nice cardstock. What I'm going to do, I just have it taped down to this right here, but I'm actually going to run it through with this one below it. And even if it doesn't cut all the way through, it's going to leave me an indentation in there that I can just follow when I put this on and rerun it. Okay, so as you can see, cut through really nicely on this one. Did leave a really nice indentation on this. Definitely didn't cut all the way through, but now I know exactly where to lay my die when I run this through again. Okay, so I have both of these completed at this point. I'm left with this right here, and I know that it's going to fit perfectly right here. All right, now that we have these two completed, you are going to need as an acetate piece. So if you were just going to put a standard acetate in, I would just do it this way. That way it's sandwiched in between the two. I cut this at 5 1/4 by 7. You could also use this same die, this stitch layering piece that we used for your pattern paper, but I wanted to give mine a little bit of a lip. That is where I'm going to make my shaker component. So I'm using this really fun glitter polka dot acetate, and then I've also cut a second of just clear acetate. I didn't want to do two polka dots together. I thought it might get a little busy if they didn't line up perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and apply my acetate with some double-sided tape, and I will be right back. Okay, now that I have my acetate on, I can start putting together the sides of my box. So I'm just using a little liquid glue, and I am starting with the box that's going underneath. So this is what you're going to see when you open it. And just line that up, bring it up, and make sure to use that bone folder. You can do the same with this side as well. And then of course we can do our shorter sides. All right, now that we have all of our sides of the box on, I have not put pattern paper onto the interior of the lid of my box. I wanted to see how the box top and bottom fit together before adding any extras on the interior. I just want to make sure that it's not too snug to add additional layers of paper. So before I do the sides of my box, I am going to add my shaker component to it. And I am just going to use some strips of foam. This is from Fanciful Chaos. I don't have any red strips, otherwise I would be using a red strip, but I have pink, and that's the next best thing. Now let's enclose our box and add glue to these short tabs on the side. Make sure to use that work surface to really press it down. All right, so I have the lid of my box together. Now I'm going to work on the shaker components. I'm going to start with these really cute clay beads, clay pieces. They're hearts. Once again, this is from Fanciful Chaos. And I also have this cute mix that I kind of wanted to throw in there. And just because I love the sound, let's add in some blue and pink. Okay. Maybe some of this white. I want it full, but I don't want it too full. And then some more red. I like it. Now I can just take off these strips and place this right on top. Line it up. So just make sure you really have that pressed down. I like to go from underneath and then press this way. So let's set this aside to cure and work on the bottom of our box. Okay, so for the bottom of the box, we're going to need just about the exact same components as the other, or for the top. So I have two of these back pieces, and once again, there is a size difference between the two. So make sure that you're getting the smaller of the outer piece. And then I only did one of the layering piece for the interior of the box. I'm not putting pattern paper on the bottom of my box. I also have two of these long pieces here. I have cut the layering piece for it, but I have not glued them on. And then I have the two shorter sides of the box, and I have added the layering pieces to this one as well. Once again, when we put these in, I am not having anything on the exterior of the box sides. I wanted to see how the top and bottom fit together. So we are going to put this in last because I am going to show you how to do the dividers in this box. So to do the dividers, I have cut one each of these. So you want the smaller of the set. One is going to go like this. The other is going to go like this. And I'm actually going to show you how to cut the paper so you can cover these tabs on the bottom. Let's start with one of these pieces, and once again I am going to go ahead and add the sides of my box just like I did last time. So I have all four sides on, and I flipped it over, and I am just using this second piece to cover up all of those tabs in the back. Okay, flipping it over, you can see I still haven't put these pattern paper pieces on the sides because I'm going to use that to cover these tabs right in here. First, let's work on our box dividers. So if you're going to forego the dividers, all you would have to do is just put this in the center, close up your box sides. Find the center of your strip. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my ruler. So I went ahead and I used a ruler to find the exact middle of each of these strips. If you're going to put, your divider over here and over here, obviously you're going to have to do some different measuring, but I just want mine right down the center to create 4 different quadrants. So I have cut, or I'm going to cut right along this line. So grab your scissors, and we're just like shaving it. You could also use an X-Acto knife for this, and just repeat on this one right here. Now, when you put them together, they're going to sit right like that, which means we're also going to have to cut this down into quadrants as well. So all I'm going to do is start to fold right here to find the center of it. And that is where I am going to, once again, just put your paper right up to that line. Just zhuzh it so we can take just a tiny bit off. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I flipped it, and I'm just going to take the tiniest bit off. Once again, once I have those cut, I'm going to pinch at the center and use that as my guide. All right, so now that I have these 4 pieces cut, for the bottom. We're going to do the exact same thing with these right here. I folded them, and now I'm just going to grab my scissors and just slice right along that edge. We can now start gluing everything down. So I want to make sure that this is right in the center. So go ahead and add your glue. All right, I know this is nice and straight. Let's add glue to this tab as well. All right, so now we can lay down our bottom pieces. Okay, I have my bottom in, and now I'm going to start bringing up the sides of this box. And I'm going to go ahead and add glue to all of the tabs on this side. All right, so I have the sides of my box together. Now I'm just going to start putting these pieces on the interior, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all of my pieces together. I am just going to run a little thin bead of hot glue along these edges. You could brace them if you wanted, like creating your own brace, but yeah, I'm just going to use just a tad of hot glue. Don't have to use a lot of it. I mean, depending upon what you're putting in the box, of course, maybe you should make your own tab, but I'm just using a little dot of hot glue because this isn't going to hold anything but paper. And just like that. Really cute. Okay. And then let's put our box top on. Let's see how this fits. We got a nice tight fit here. I'm glad I didn't put any extra on the interior. And now I just have to decorate, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the finished product. So stinking cute. I love that shaker aspect. A little closer look at the top. Once again, this is the Love Notes collection from Echo Park, printed on koala cardstock. This is the double matte 48 pound. So really, really cute. So here's a quick look at my interior. Just so stinking cute. Love it. You'll see an appearance by that new heart. It's like that scalloped heart with a double stitch. I just ended up doing some hand stitching along that second stitch. Super, super cute. That comes out with the XOXO border that's new this month. Just so good. Love, love, love. So thank you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out this 3D bakery box and all of the other fab dies that came out for the January release, head on over to Scrap Diva Designs and check them out. Be sure to use coupon code JEN10 if I've inspired you in any way. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more crafty content. I'll see you in the next crafty video. Bye!